Jay is an entrepreneur, philosopher, motivational speaker, and he's also an author. His most recent book is titled Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. Jay is well known in our community as he speaks at several churches in the area and offers messages from Spirit at our services as well as at our psychic fairs. The title of his lesson this evening is, What is the Next Big Thing? Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Hunter Lee.
Well, if it's going to be, it's up to me to fulfill my dreams and possibilities with dedication and motivation to inspire thousands from every nation. When times are tough and breaks you down, just smile with strength and rebuild from the ground. During tough times, adversity might seem a lot. Just remember, time flies and you are the pilot. Good evening.
Good evening.
So glad to be here today. A lot of smiling faces, and I do see a few new faces, but I'm going to ask anyway. For those of you who have not heard me speak before, by a show of hands, everyone heard me speak before? You have not? Well, your luck just run out. I hope you all are doing great. I hope you had a productive week, and we come here, we get our blessings, we fellowship with one another, and we go at it another week with prosperity and abundance. Okay? So I want to talk to you guys about what is the next big thing. You guys remember back in the days we had some technology. Well, that's before we get to the technology part. Let's start with the combustion with vehicles. I wasn't born back then, but I was told that you used to start a vehicle up by winding it up in the front. Is that right?
She looks at me. I guess I should know.
Victrola.
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 Bingo, Victrola. Love it. So everyone follow the trend. You know, many people follow what the next big thing is, or what they feel the next big thing is. And, you know, then they came out with the keys. You turn your car on and start up and you drive it and everything like that. And now they have a push button. You just get in the car and just touch the button and it starts up. How many of you have one of those push buttons? Yeah, right. The next big thing, right? And let's go to the page. Remember pagers, little beepers? Everybody would get a beep, and if they really wanted you, they would put -911 at the end of the number. Remember that? Everyone had it. Am I the only one? I'm not the only one who had a pager, right? Everyone have a pager? And what did we do after we got a pager? We went to the nearest payphone, right? And sometimes you have a line at the payphone. I wish you would hurry up. I wish you would hurry up. You get to the payphone, then when it's your turn, you get it. And then guess what happened after that? They had this big old box that you would carry it. My father had one when I was a kid. He had one carrying it around like this, and a telephone would come out the box. And I said, Dad, what you doing with this big old purse? He said, it's not a purse, it's a cell phone. And the phone would come out the receiver, on the back of the receiver was where you would dial and call people. So when my mom used to page him, he would be like on the phone. He was one of the first ones who was phone and driving back in the 80s. And I had some other relatives who came with some smaller cell phones, right? But they were still big. They were about this tall, and they were just like, they were slim, white color, beige color, and they had numbers on the back, and they would talk on it. And I said, Dad, I want to be like my cousins, man. They got those cell phones. He said, man, those phones are expensive. And he said, you can't talk to anybody until after 9 o'clock at night. And then a company called Cellular One came out. Cellular One had a little flip phone, and I got a Cellular One phone in the early 90s. And I saw my first bill, and I didn't pick up the phone anymore. I started going back to the house phone. So I'm sharing this technology stuff with us because we all remember those. We all remember the supercomputer or the mainframe Mainframe went down to the micro, and then you got the micro mini, and we had software. We had MS-DOS. Remember DOS? Remember DOS, right? DOS was how we did everything. There were applications that was DOS based, like DBase 4, Lotus 123, WordPerfect, all of these different softwares what people used in those days to communicate and create documents, spreadsheets, and everything before Microsoft Office came and kind of like took over with Excel, PowerPoint, Word, things like that. So everybody always wanted to get on the next big thing. Whatever came out and it was hot, everybody wanted it. I remember I had the Atari. As soon as I got the Atari, ColecoVision came out. I said, okay, now I want a ColecoVision. So everything was popular because someone had the mindset to create something. How many of you here know that everything that is physical comes from a non-physical place? Right? A gentleman by the name of James Arthur Ray said to me once, he said, with sight you see with the eyes. Vision you see through the eyes. That's amazing. So your higher self conceives, your physical brain receives, and your physical mind perceives. Come on, somebody. Am I right or am I right?
Right.
So people come up with all of this different technology, and everybody gets on board with it. Now they have social media. Everybody jumped on Facebook. Before Facebook, everybody was on MySpace. Am I right? Everybody on MySpace. Facebook came out, and the difference between Facebook and MySpace is Mark Zuckerberg took Facebook and he took a page out of the universe's operation. Did you guys know that the universe is one great big algorithm? What we think about, we bring about. Mark Zuckerberg took that philosophy, took that concept, and put it in Facebook. Google did the exact same thing. All other social media platforms have done the exact same thing. I'm going to prove it to you. How many of you have went on Amazon to look at an item, and when you got on Facebook, the same item showed up? Am I right? They took a page out of the universe, and they've made billions and billions of dollars. It reminds me of the insurance industry. Money's passing around. They all sharing it. They all sharing one big pot. They took a page out of the universe and did that. So the question is, what is the next big thing? A lot of people sitting around waiting on it. But did you know there are three types of people? The first person make things happen. The second person is waiting on things to happen. And the third person don't know what's happening. Just waiting on the next big thing. I don't know what it is, but I'm waiting on it. But the key is, it's not about what's the next big thing. It's about who's the next big thing. And that's you. You are the next big thing. It wasn't Microsoft. It was Bill Gates. It wasn't Apple. It was Steve Jobs. It wasn't Ford. It was Henry Ford. The next big thing is not what you create, it's who you are, what your vision is. Things you materialize. You start in the non-physical and you bring it into the physical realm. That's the secret to it all. It's who the next big thing is. And I love to talk about this because a lot of people follow a lot of things on TV. They see it on TV and I want it. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to see this person perform. What about your performance? You look at everybody else make a whole lot of money and you being entertained by it, but you still struggling to pay your light bill. The bigger the house, the bigger the library. The smaller the house, the bigger the television set. Come on, somebody. So it's not about what the next big thing is, it's about who. A gentleman by the name of Dr. Miles Monroe asked a certain question that is very, very powerful today. He asked, where is the wealthiest place in the world? Where is the wealthiest place in the world? It's not over in Arabia where all the gold, black gold or the oil is. It's not in Africa or other places where there are gold mines where people can create gold and find treasure. No. The wealthiest place in the world is at the graveyard. And it's not because everybody's going to die. The reason why the graveyard is the most wealthiest place in the world is because you have people who are there now who have never lived in their purpose. Books never been written. Poems never cited. Inventions never brought to fruition. And there's a poem that goes with that. It goes, he slept beneath the moon and basked beneath the sun. He lived a life of going to do and died with nothing done. Am I right? Just lived his whole life talking about what he's going to do. Never lived his purpose. And I spoke about that some time ago, about discovering, come up to 3D to an extraordinary lifestyle. Live in your purpose. Do exactly what you're supposed to be doing. If you don't know, visit your childhood passion from the age 7 to 14. I knew at my age of 7 to 14, I used to break dance. You guys remember break dancing, the feet twirling in the air? I used to walk around with a cardboard under my arm, waiting for the music to come on. I would throw the cardboard out in the middle of the sidewalk and start spinning on my back. People were excited about it. So I knew then that I'm supposed to be doing something in front of people. I started coaching football, and the parents was in love with the things I was saying to my football players. I said, okay, maybe I should start speaking because they suggested it. You should be one of those motivational speakers. I said, I don't know about that. I'm just a football player. I went to my mentor and told my mentor about it. He said, you should do it. And I started giving myself excuses. I never did that before. I don't have no degrees. I don't know anything about this. And the line disconnected. So I called him back. I said, Nate, the call dropped. He said, no, I hung up. I said, why'd you hang up? He said, because when you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. When people give you a compliment, when people boost you up, don't ever tear yourself down. How many people have you seen do that? Oh, you look great today. Oh, no, this nothing. I just got this from Walmart. If you tell me I look good, I'm going to tell you this suit costs $500. Because you have to accept that energy. Remember, it's not what the next big thing is, because you are the next big thing. Your vision, your inspiration, your goals. And stay away from negative people. Do not share your goals with trolls. Right? You share your big dreams to small-minded people. And the trick is they're never going to go anywhere. You just can't attract yourself to it. See, here's the thing. People talk about law of attraction. They think about, oh, it came to me, so I must have attracted. No, we attract everything we don't want. It's what we put our energy into. It's what we allow to entertain us. You are the author of your life. If you're affected by other people's opinion of you, then you have given them the copyrights to become your editor. Amen. Come on, somebody. Y'all should be clapping on that one. Huh? Because there are hyenas out there knowing that you are the next big thing, but they don't want you to be the next big thing because they don't want to be the next big thing. They put all their time and energy talking negative about you, trying to hinder what you're doing. And you don't have to entertain it. How many people you think feel today who told Bill Gates he was going to be nothing? How do you think they feel right now? How many people told Michael Jordan he wouldn't mount on to nothing? Got cut from his high school basketball team. Arguably the greatest player of all time. How many people have told the guys who came up with Uber driving? I know a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. Know him. I met him. We talked. We hang out. Share books together. Gary Vaynerchuk had an opportunity to be a partner with Uber. He said he'll never miss an opportunity like that again. Can you imagine Blockbuster Video? Remember Blockbuster? Everybody remember Blockbuster? Did you know that they had an opportunity to buy Netflix for $50 million? And the CEO of Blockbuster didn't have the vision at the time? See, that's why you have to answer your calling. You have to live in your purpose. Because your vision is yours. This is why you got to stay away from negative and cynical people. Because that vision wasn't given to them. It was given to you and only you. And now you are obligated, and the universe is going to hold you accountable. You know how? Because every goal you create, obstacles are also created. And those obstacles are geared to turn you into the person you need to be turned into in order for you to reach the goal. That's why I started in the beginning with my poem, if it's going to be, it's up to me. It ain't up to Reverend Frank, Reverend David. It ain't up to my lady Q here. It ain't up to Kay with her beautiful music. It is up to me. Hold yourself accountable. Everything in your life is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Am I right or am I right?
Right.
You can't be the next big thing giving excuses. You can't be the next big thing being the victim, because we've all had things happen to us. And we have all came through it. You know how I know? Because we're here right now. So playing the victim is too late. We've already made it this far. Jeffrey Osborne came out with a song in the 80s called We're Going All the Way. How many of you want to go all the way? Huh? Come on, am I the only one? Who wants to go all the way? Listen to the song. It's a beautiful song. So we take the time, meditate, and pray. Prayer is when we talk to God. Meditation is when God's talking to us. But we got to listen. There's a message to everything we do. Failure is feedback. Can you say that with me, please? Failure is feedback. Fail. First attempt in learning. Who wants to learn? While you earn. And that's service. Service is the rent we pay for the space on earth we occupy. How many of you are providing service? If you're providing service, service is going to come to you by default. Zig Ziglar said, if you help people get what they want in life, you are already included. Am I right? So I'm going to leave you with a quick story that occurred down in Beaumont, Texas. Anyone familiar with Beaumont? Anyone ever been down to Beaumont, Texas? Port Arthur area? Well, many years ago, down in Beaumont, Texas, there was a farmer there who had a lot of land, but he was doing bad financially. He had some struggles, he had major challenges, and those challenges were financial. So he started to sell parts of his land to try to make ends meet. All of a sudden, a representative of one of the major oil companies walked up to him and say, "Sir, we believe you have oil in your land. If you allow us to dig for it, and if we discover it, we'll pay you royalties for every barrel of oil we produce." The farmer said, "I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Go ahead and go for it." This is during the beginning of the spindle top. You guys familiar with the spindle top? In the oil field, the big thing looked like a windmill. That helps to pump up the oil. This is during the introduction to that, when that first came out. Did you know that 4 major oil companies came out of that farmland? They were able to produce over 100,000 barrels of oil. So the next big thing wasn't the discovery of the oil. The next big thing was the person who had the vision for it. This is why the wealthiest place on the earth is at the graveyard, because you have people there who have never lived out their true vision. And in closing, I got one big favor to ask each and every one of you. And that is to sing like no one can hear you. Dance like no one can see you. Love like you've never been hurt. And live like it's heaven on earth. I'm Jay Hunter Lee, Reverend David, Reverend Frank, we love you and the world needs you. Peace and blessings, and thank you very much.